I don't want to make this a gender war, but this comes from a therapist lady, African American woman, and it comes from the real DL Hughley page, and I want you guys just to hear this. And I began to really think deeply about this idea, and one of the things that came across my mind is in the last 9 months or so of me being in my private practice, I have myself experienced many women, whether they came as a couple or they came by themselves, they very abruptly discontinued their therapy. And I started to reflect and really think, what was going on here? And I noticed that after I had to confront them about something, I had to bring to their attention something they were doing that wasn't contributing to the health of the relationship, they became very defensive and very, just very harsh, and they stopped coming. And even though the husband would continue to come, he made it very clear that, yeah, she won't apologize. She thinks you're wrong. She thinks you're taking my side. And I began to really reflect, like, oh my gosh, is it true that women don't apologize? Is it that women struggle with being held accountable? I'd love your thoughts on this. Me personally, I think it has to do with a person's level of emotional maturity. What do you think?
That's so funny.
Fact Dragon, I'm sending you this.
That's so funny because I just seen a video that's similar to that. Send
me this so I can add it to the episode.
It was a relationship podcast that talked about, one of the hosts was talking about how women, women don't allow space for men to give emotional clarity. And so it kind of goes in that same sense. And he was talking about how when men begin to talk about their own issues, women may take it upon themselves to make it about either them or change the perception in which that man may be explaining. So ultimately making the man shut down and not go through the full conversation of what he was trying to get out. So it kind of goes into that sense of apology and owning up to their wrongdoing. So I have to agree.
So the reason why I want to bring this up on the show today, because I want to answer her question and then evolve it. Do I think women struggle with accountability? I want to say yes and no, because I actually feel like this is actually more of a societal Western society problem, because I feel like men struggle with accountability as well, but it looks different. But what she's talking about, what you're talking about, I agree with you as well, because I feel like the embarrassment people feel from being called out is more just like, is that sensitive nature with a woman, where it's kind of like when we look at a relationship picture, is if we go with the whole like happy wife, happy life type thing, and it's kind of like when she doesn't emulate or she doesn't add up to the picture of like, oh, I'm providing this space because, I don't say women run the household, but like they want, like, they're the great wife, they're their great mom. And as soon as they don't fit that, or they're being told that reality doesn't meet what they are trying to permeate, they can't handle that. Hey, this is actually my reality. Can we work on this? And that kind of goes down to like the logical, emotional side of when we kind of talk about with women, where it's kind of like, and then we have to add into the sauce of like, women taking a more balanced, like, I don't want to say it's not really 50-50, but like, like shared responsibility because of our times in the West and things of that manner, where it's kind of hard for just a man just to fully fund and fully provide, like back in the olden times and days, where it's kind of like, to be in a relationship in the 21st, 23rd century is really true partnership. Is like, we have to feed off of each other. And I think, at least just from a woman's standpoint, I definitely think accountability is something that is a struggle.
I think personal opinion, um, women suffer with accountability more, and I think they hide that better than men. Men do feel like men do struggle with accountability, but I think like you're saying, it looks different. Um, I think we're more accountable for our actions and not our thoughts. Um, and women are accountable more for their actions, or they're accountable more for their thoughts and not their actions.
Hmm.
If that makes any sense. Like, I feel like when we mess up physically doing something wrong, we're accountable for that. And we are kept accountable for that. Like, you didn't do this, or you didn't take the trash out, or you didn't clean the dishes, or you. But when women don't do those things, they're not kept accountable. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And I mean, and again, it's not about like gender roles and all that. It's just like accountability on things that I feel are more. Yeah.
If I'm looking at just like men in general, I think what men struggle with is being accountability with men, because I'm not trying to just like solely look at me, because um I'll just say the accountability of I think men do well with action. And I think it's kind of goes in what you were saying, but like if you tell somebody something, your word is your bond. I see a lot of men struggle with that, where it's kind of like I see a lot of men sell women a dream rather than this is what I have versus this is what we can build. And I feel like we get into this, and it's everybody that's living and keeping up with the Joneses of like, instead of just acknowledging that you have of what you can do, your capabilities and the powers that you do have. Because I feel like that is more masculine than anything. Because if you are able to be like, this is what I am able to do and what I'm able to give to you right now, that is masculine, rather than, oh, I'm gonna do all this stuff later and things like that. Being like, that's something that you want to do, rather than right now, this is what I can provide, and what I am able to provide, I have pride in that. I have pride in what I can provide you right now. If that's not good enough for you, then that's okay. The selling of the dream is like, oh, I finally got this baddie's attention, and then I'm about to sell this person the dream. And then you run yourself ragged, and then you eventually get into the cycle of lying to this person, and then having your actions not line up to what really is accountable of where you are at. Because just like with anything, you don't know what someone's willing to accept if you genuinely, and I'm meaning with the confidence being like, this is me. Not saying that I'm not gonna go get her, I'm not trying to change, but this is me. So, but I think my overall point of bringing it up is I think this is such a Western culture issue of like accountability. Of like we struggle and we struggle with just being accountable for how we show up in relationships. Where like we're so fixated on wanting to be right rather than how did I come off. And I think what makes
very center focus.
Exactly, and what makes things makes relationships where people are really asking for is when two people are coming to it and they're not so focused on being right, they're so focused on how can I be there for you.
I agree.
So if you're watching this, man, woman, child,
baby,
accountability is sexy.
Little baby.
I'm gonna say it again. Accountability is sexy, and accountability looks like apologies and change behavior and communication. Those things are essential, because acknowledging that you've impacted someone is important. Change behavior is the atonement of, I acknowledge that I've done some things and I'm willing to do them better with you or without you in my presence. And the communication of, what are we going to do the next time? That will help you in business, school, relationships, all over. Accountability and being and standing on your word is one of the most powerful things you can have as a human.
And I think that is wrong with that's what's going wrong with our society today, is we are not accountable for our own actions and we don't own up to them. Instead, we want to run away from things that we've done and make claim that we've never done those things, or that it's in the past, it doesn't exist, when that past is what got you where you are now. So
if someone's weaponizing shame or embarrassment, that should tell you that you shouldn't be around that person.
mm-hmm.
Because we all make mistakes. We all have our past. I know we were joking about Kim K, but like, it's to the point where she's like, fuck yeah, I made it. Fuck yeah. Ray J hit it first. So what? It's a hit song. But the thing is, when we let that define our lives, we stop writing the rest of our story.
Mm-hmm.
Accountability is not meant for you to be harmed. It's meant for you to grow.
And own up to the things that you've done and created in your past, to show the fruit in which it's bared from that. And I think that's important. And I think that's what goes back to what I was talking about with Kim K. I think if she talked about that past and acknowledged it, she would have a lot more respect now.
Oh, no, she got respect.
I mean, of course she has respect. I mean, she wouldn't be who she is if she didn't have respect. But I think it's just acknowledgement, ownership. Take ownership of it. Say you're sorry.
Well, I know it's at the end of the episode, but I forgot to do it. But I'll just no, I'll do a commercial next time. Yeah. But no commercial. But I'll just say this. Yo, we going up. Hit that like, comment, subscribe. Have faith. You gotta have faith in humanity.
Grain of a mustard seed.
Grain of a mustard seed.
Like, comment, subscribe. Actually, you don't even have to. You watch the video. You listen to the podcast at this point. Thank you. Thank you. That's plenty. But become a loyal fan, follower, listener. Do all those things. Hit the bell. Donate to $Hero
Bob.
And guess what? We'll keep changing your mind on a lot of things in this world. We'll also have critical conversation that you can take part in. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And we out. Peace.
Probably wondering if I think of you. Sorry, I'm for the bag right now. Yeah, I'm for the bag right now. Yeah, for the bag that I never had. Yeah, you probably mad right now. Yeah, I got a 2-piece now. Shit, I think they call them groupies now.